Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. And, as a sophomore, you're pretty well down the path. And my son Alex is currently coaching high school basketball. And, kind of by sophomore year, you kind of know what you have. I mean, sometimes you can be surprised. And he initially wasn't getting recruited, but he had a great senior year and then got recruited to college. He did great in college, and then next thing you know, he gets drafted. He wasn't the first pick in the draft, but he gets drafted. Even in watching the documentary called The Last Dance, I saw that the general manager who drafted him on the draft day said, well, look, he's not 7 foot tall, but we can use him. Because at the time, the game of basketball was played through the middle, and it was the big man. You needed a 7-footer in the middle. And they're like, well, Akeem Olajuwon wasn't available. He was taken in the draft, so we can't use him. And so the fact of the matter is he wasn't exactly what they were looking for. And in his career, he's 26 times, he says, he took the shot to win the game and lost the game. He's missed thousands of shots. He had to go through setback after setback. His father's death. He retired from the sport. He went on to play baseball. And baseball was his first love. By the way, how did he do in baseball? Well, he's a minor league player. He did okay, but ultimately he failed. His goal was to make the major leagues. He didn't make the major leagues. And here's one of the greatest athletes in the history of all sports and all achievement, but he couldn't make it in baseball and went back to basketball. He'd already won 3 championships, retired, his father died, and then he started back up again. And he goes on to win another 3 championships. And if you have a chance to watch the Netflix series, The Last Dance, you'll see even in that documentary throughout the story, he's told at the beginning of his last year, your coach is going to be fired at the end of the season, even if he wins every game. The second best player on his team, Scottie Pippen, was in a contract dispute and said, I'm not playing for the team, and actually didn't play for 6 months. The third best player on the team, Dennis Rodman, was taking timeouts regularly to get blitzed in Las Vegas. During the NBA Finals, he didn't show up for practice before one of the biggest games of the year because he was involved in the WWE, and he was at the wrestling, and he was on TV and broadcast and appearing in the ring as a caricature in the wrestling. You're looking at this going, this is a year where it was like considered his greatest achievement and his 6th championship. And we just think from the outside looking in, it's all plain sailing. And it's just not. It's just not. And he's had the games in The Last Dance where you see he's had, food poisoning in the finals. And he's just one challenge, one setback after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. He's considered the greatest champion of all time. And I love the quote from him. He says, I missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I was trusted to take the game-winning shot and I missed. I have failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. And that's where it's at. And I just won't want to hit you with platitudes and the stories. I just want you to know, this is the dominant prevalence and theme in successful people.